Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
The more than 50 participants.
It's now 48 exactly. Why? Yes, now it's 50, sir.
50, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can we start, Girish?
Yes, sir. We can start.
Good evening to all of you. In continuation to in-house training, today we have Mrs. Balbir Kaur. She's going to discuss about stress-free, feel best. I think stress in each and every corner. Stress of students, stress of family, stress, lot of stress we have nowadays. So how to overcome the stress and we feel best, I think. It's a nice topic covered by this Mr. Balbir Kaur. So now I request Mr. Balbir Kaur to please start.
Yes.
Madam.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, Principal Sir. Good evening, Vice Principal Ma'am, and my dear friends. Myself is Balbir Kaur, and going to take today's in-house training session. My topic is stress less, feel best. Now, I'm going to start. Stress less, feel best. Laughing is also one of the easy factor we can remove the stress. Now, my presentation starts. Today's topic covers in two parts. First is general awareness and second is ways to control stress. So one by one we'll see. So first part is general awareness. In this topic, in this part, we'll cover what is stress, types of stresses, individuals, stress origins and body system, adaptation syndrome, symptoms, costs of stress, discussion and questions. Now, first is what is stress? First, we will know what is the meaning. Stress is the reaction people have to excessive pressures or other types of demand placed upon them. It arises when they worry that they can't cope, or in other words, we can say that stress is the wear and tear our minds and bodies experiences as we attempt to cope with our continually changing environment. Stress definition is feeling of emotional or physical tension. Any type of changes causes physical, emotional, or psychological stress. Our body requires attention or action at the time of stress. If we'll see the definition of stress in equation format, then S is equal to P greater than R, where S means stress, P is for pressure, and R is for resource. Stress occurs when pressure is more than resources. When we're trying to balance this, we have to reduce or eliminate pressure or stressors and increases coping resources to accommodate high level of stress. Next is stress feeling. At the time of stress, our body feels worry, tense, tired, frightened, elated, or excited or very happy, depressed, anxious, nervousness, worry, or self doubt, or anger. So, these are the feelings in our body that when stress is created. Now, next is types of stressors. Two types, external and internal. First is external stressors, in which we'll see physical environment, social interaction, organizational, major life events, daily hassles, all these comes under external stressors. So first we'll see physical environment in which noise, bright lights, heat, confined spaces, all these comes under physical environment. Confined space means we can say that any enclosed place with limited access and increased risk due to that. Social interaction, rudeness, fussiness, aggressiveness by others, bullying, the behavior of a person who hurts or frightens upon, small or less powerful, or facing that person to do something that they do not want to do. At that time, there is stress created. Next is organizational, rules, regulations, deadlines are comes under organizational. Major life events like birth, death, lost job, promotion, marital status changes, all these are also causes of stress. Daily hassles. Daily hassles means everyday minor stressors that can be interpreted or minimally stressful, frustrating, or irritating, like commuting, misplaced keys, mechanical breakdowns. Commuting means to travel and forth regularly, major cause of stress due to unpredictability and sense of loss of control. Next is internal stressors. The stressors which causes stress or tension inside. The different types of internal stressors are lifestyle choices, negative self-talk, mind prep, personality traits. In lifestyle choices like caffeine, lack of sleep, overloaded schedule causes stress. Negative self-talk. It is any thought that reduces you and your ability to make positive changes in life. Self-criticism, over analyzing. Mind traps. It is a series of lateral thinking puzzle game played by two individuals or teams in which unrealistic expectations like feel stressed and upset when things or routines don't go as planned and deviates slightly. Next is taking things personally. All or nothing thinking. Exaggerations. To make something seems larger, more important, better, or worse than it really is. Rigid thinking. It also comes under mind trap. That means feeling emulsions to certain things which affects persons' personal, professional, or social lives. Next is personality traits, in which perfectionist, workaholics. These are comes under personality traits. Workaholics means a person who works excessively and compulsively and unable to detach from work. Now, types of stress. Two types of stress are negative stress and positive stress. First is negative stress. It is a contributory factor in minor conditions such as headache, digestive problems, skin complaints, insomnia, and ulcers. Excessive, prolonged, and unrelieved stress can have a harmful effect on mental, physical, and spiritual health. Next is positive stress. Stress can also have a positive effect, spurring motivation and awareness, providing the stimulation to cope with challenging situations. Stress also provides the sense of urgency and alertness needed for survival when confronting threatening situations. Next is stress curve. In this slide, we can see that how that shape changes or our body mood changes when there is changes of stress level. This curve showing the relationship between pressure and performance. Psychologist Robert Yarkes and John Dadson developed a first version of stress curve in 1908. It is bell-shaped and segmented zone of various colors. These colors represents like a traffic light warning system. Next is the individual. Everyone is different with unique perceptions of and reactions to events. There is no single level of stress that is optimal for all people. Some are more sensitive owing to experiences in childhood, the influence of teachers, parents, and religion, etc. Most of the stress we experience is self-generated. How we perceive life, weather, and events makes us feel threatened or stimulated, encouraged or discouraged, happy or sad, depends to a large extent on how we perceive ourselves. Self-generated stress is something of a paradox because so many people think of external causes when they are upset. Recognizing that we create most of our own upsets in an important first step towards coping with them. Now, this is the stress response, in which we'll see that how our body changes, hormonal level changes during the time of stress. Dr. Hans Selye, known as father of stress research, founder of stress theory, he explained his stress model based on physiology and psychobiology termed as GAS, that is, General Adaptation Syndrome. In 1930, Dr. Walter Cannon coined the term flight or fight response. It states that chain of rapidly reactions occurring inside the body to deal with circumstances. Now we'll see in detail that what is general adaptation syndrome. General adaptation syndrome is divided into three phases. Alarm response, that means at the beginning time when the stress starts, adaptation and exhaustion. So one by one we'll see the detail of these three. First is alarm response. This is the fight or flight response that prepares the body for immediate action. Second is adaptation phase. If the source persists, the body prepares for long-term protection, secreting hormones to increase blood sugar levels. This phase is common and not necessarily harmful, but must include periods of relaxation and rest to counterbalance the stress response. Fatigue, concentration lapses, irritability, and lethargy results as the stress turns negative. Exhaustion phase. In chronic stress situations, sufferers enter the exhaustion phase. Emotional, physical, and mental resources suffer heavily. The body experiences adrenal exhaustion, leading to decreased stress tolerance, progressive mental and physical exhaustion, illness, and collapse. Now, in this slide, we can see by the action of the body the three phases: alarm, resistance or adaptation, and exhaustion. Alarm stage, we can see that the initial reaction of an organism as hormonal activity. Body starts to react and stress causes. Resistance or adaptation, body focuses against the stressors. And the third phase, exhaustion, in which we can see that in the slide, body resources have been depleted and happens when P is greater than R. That means pressure is more than resources, or stresses continue beyond capacity, and finally body exhausts and becomes susceptible to diseases and mortality. Now, next we'll see with the help of video about these three phases. Let go of your stress. A psychology professor entered the classroom with half a glass of water in his hand. other case, just leave it and work towards your goals, or else it just kills your productivity. Now, next is endocrine system, which secretes a hormone and affects our body at the time of stress. Stress response controlled by the endocrine system demands on the physical or mental system of the body results in hormone secretion like adrenaline, testosterone, etc. Number of hormones are secreted and during hormone levels changes and affects our body system. Endocrine system responses: increased pupil dilatation, perspiration, increased heart rate and blood pressure, rapid breathing, muscles tenseness, increased mental alertness. Now, one video that showing that how our body systems affect.
Stress is a normal part of life, and it's not always bad. In the right amount, it can motivate you to get things done. But stress becomes harmful if it's overwhelming or long term. When you're stressed, the fear center in the brain, called the amygdala, takes over. The brain sends out a distress call, which results in the adrenal glands located above the kidneys, releasing hormones that speed up your heartbeat and breathing and push more blood to your muscles. Once the threat passes, your stress response winds down. For our prehistoric ancestors being chased by wild animals, this fight or flight response could be very useful. But in the modern world, it's a problem when the perceived threat never goes away. When the brain is under constant stress, it can change in ways that make you even more vulnerable to stress. A constant flood of stress hormones can also do damage by weakening your immune system, leaving you more prone to infections. It may trigger inflammation that puts you at greater risk for conditions like heart disease and diabetes. Learning how to cope with stress can help minimize these effects. Try practicing relaxation techniques like meditation, yoga, or deep breathing. Do at least 30 minutes of moderately intense exercise like brisk walking on most days, which can calm your body and mind. Get at least 7 hours of sleep. Seek support from friends and loved ones, and if necessary, talk to a mental health professional. The better you're able to handle stress, the less likely that life's bumps will knock you off.
Stress response system. Now, in this slide, we can understand about that hormones action and effects of our body organs. Brain, which is the control center of our body, and at the time of stress, it secretes a hormone ACTH and directly affects on adrenal gland located on the kidney. So under stress condition, our kidney first affected. When adrenal glands affects with ACTH, it secretes a hormone, adrenaline and cortisol in excess amount, and our body systems affected like digestive system, decreased digestion activity, liver also affected, as normally liver store excess of glucose in the form of glycogen, but when stress occurs in the body, then the liver converts excess of stored glycogen into glucose and increases the blood sugar level. As the same, our respiratory system is also affected. Dilation of bronchioles. It also increased heart rate and also increases high blood pressure. So ultimately in the body, when stress occurs and our hormonal secretion level changes and it directly affects on kidney and ultimately our body systems not function properly. Stress related illness. Stress is not the same as ill health but has been related to such illness as cardiovascular disease, immune system disease, asthma, diabetes, digestive disorders, ulcers, skin complaints, cirrhosis, headaches and migraines, premenstrual syndrome, depression. Next is symptoms of stress. Physical symptoms, mental, behavioral, emotional symptoms of stress. First is physical symptoms. Sleep pattern changes, fatigue, digestion changes, loss of sexual drive, headaches, aches and pains, infections, indigestion, dizziness, fainting, trembling, tingling hands and feet, breathlessness, palpitations, missed heartbeats. All these are physical symptoms at the time of stress. Next is mental symptoms, lack of concentration, memory lapses, difficulty in making decisions, confusion, disorientation, panic attacks. Behavioral symptoms in which appetite changes, too much or too little, eating disorders, anorexia, that is desire to lose weight by refusing to eat, bulimia, eating disorder in which persons eat very large and make themselves vomit, increased intake of alcohol and other drugs, increased smoking, restlessness, forgetting, make small movements, especially hands and feet, through nervousness, nail biting, hypochondria. Hypochondria means a state in which a person continuously worries about their health without having any reason to do so. Moods of depression, impatience, fits of rage, tearfulness, deterioration of personal hygiene and appearance. Now, causes of stress. 80% of all modern disease have their origins in stress. In the UK, 40 million working days per year are lost directly from stress related illness. Costs in absenteeism to British industry is estimated at 1.5 billion pounds per year. Now, there is one statement: not all the stress we experience is generated at work. Now, we will come to the next part of this session, that how to release stress. This part helps us to reduce the stress. So, In this part, first we'll start with one video which helps us to stress management by Sadhguru.
The first time I came to the United States, wherever I went, I heard this term, stress management. I could not understand because in my understanding, we manage things which are precious to us. Our families, our businesses, our money, our property. Whatever is precious to us, we will manage that. Why would somebody want to manage stress? I couldn't get it for some time. Then I realized people have made a conclusion that stress is an extra limb that they have in their body. Stress is an appendage that they cannot get rid of. Stress is not a part of you. You get stressful because you do not know how to handle your mind. No attention has been paid as to how to handle this mind, how to handle this emotion, how to handle this body, how to handle these energies. Nothing has been done about it. You're managing such a sophisticated system accidentally. So you being stressful is a natural outcome of such unconscious living. There is no other way to be. Don't think your job is stressful. Now you're a student. Being a student is stressful. If you don't find employment when you come out of the college, that is stressful. If you get a job, even more stressful. If you don't get married, that is very stressful. If you get married, you don't have children, that is stressful. If you have children, you pull your hair out with stress. So, it is not your job or your life situations which are stressful. Stress is happening to you because of your inability to manage your own system. Not knowing how to manage the system is stressfulness. If this happened the way you want it, you would be stressful. If you do simple inner engineering process, just 21 minutes a day. Today you take your pulse rate before and after food. Do it for 6 weeks. Check your pulse rate and see it will be considerably down. Which essentially shows with the same level of activity. This is a simple indicator. There are many other parameters that you could check. But this is an extremely simple indicator for which you don't have to go to any laboratory, you can check it yourself. The lowering of the pulse with the same level of activity indicates that your system is going at an easier pace. That means it's working much more efficient. If you drive your car at 2000 RPM, the engine may last 100,000 kilometers or miles. If you drive the same engine at 5,000 RPM, it may last only 50,000 miles or less, simply because it's unnecessarily revved up. So if this can do everything that it has to do at an easy pace, that means it is happening efficiently. Any machine which has least amount of friction within itself happens efficiently, naturally produces more with least amount of stress. It is definitely time you do some inner engineering.
Now, I think this video will help us to reduce the stress The second method to reduce the stress is the stress bucket model. The stress bucket metaphor, developed an idea by Brabden and Turkington, which is helpful way to think about how we can try to control the stress. The size of our stress bucket related to our level of vulnerability. When we sleep properly, our brain empties our stress bucket. Stress bucket is filled with trauma, anxiety, worry, distress, etc. But when we engage ourselves in exercise, relaxation, hobbies, self-care, eating healthy, meditation, rest, self-care, then we can remove our stress. Recognize the problem. The most important point is to recognize the source of the negative stress. This is not an admission of weakness or inability to cope. It is a way to identify the problem and plan measures to overcome it. Another method is ABC strategy. This also helps us to release the stress. In ABC strategy, A is awareness. We have to aware about what causes you stress. How do you react? April is known as Stress Awareness Month. In ABC strategy, B is balance. There is a fine line between positive and negative stress. How much can you cope with before it becomes negative? The C means C represent control. What can you do to help yourself combat the negative effects of stress? So ABC strategy also helps us to reduce or release stress. Stress management techniques. Change your thinking, change your behavior, change your lifestyle. In change your thinking, reframing and positive thinking comes under change our thinking to release stress. Reframing is a technique to change the way you look at things in order to feel better about them. There are many ways to interpret the same situation, so pick the one you like. Reframing does not change the external reality, but helps you view things in a different light and less stressfully. Positive thinking. Forget powerlessness. Dejection. Dejection means a sad or depressed state or low spirit. Despair. The complete loss or absence of hope. Failure. Stress leaves us vulnerable to negative suggestion, so focus on positives. Focus on your strengths. Learn from the stress you are under. Look for opportunities. Seek out the positive. Make a change. Change your behavior, in which the different paths ventilation, humor, diversion and distraction. So be assertive means assertiveness helps to manage stressful situations and will, in time, help to reduce their frequency. Lack of assertiveness often shows low self-esteem and low self-confidence. The key to assertiveness is verbal and non-verbal communication, extending our range of communication skills will improve our assertiveness. Equality and basic rights. Some basic rights also releases stress, like the right to express my feelings, the right to express opinions, beliefs, the right to say yes, no, or yourself, right to change your mind, right to say I don't understand, right to be yourself, not acting for the benefit of others, the right to decline responsibility for other people's problems, the right to make reasonable requests of others, the right to set my own priorities, the right to be listened to and taken seriously. So these different rights also helps us to reduce stress. Being assertive. Being assertive involves standing up for your personal rights and expressing your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs directly, honestly, and spontaneously in ways that don't infringe the rights of others. It infringe, it takes away some of their rights and limits their freedom. Assertive people respect themselves and others, take responsibility for action and choices, ask openly for what they want, disappointed if want denied. Self confidence remains intact, not reliant on the approval of others. Assertive skills. Establish good eye contact, don't stare. Stand or sit comfortably, don't fit it. Talk in a firm, steady voice. Use body language. I think, I feel. What do you think? How do you feel? Concise and to the points. These are some assertive skills. Now, this slide helps us the problem solving loop in which first we have to identify the problems and your end goal. Then after identifying the problem, the next step is explore information and create ideas, discuss ideas, and generate possible solution of the problem. Then after possible solution of the problem, we have to select the best idea and try to solve the problem. Again, then review and rethinking of plan whether that solution solved the problem or not, and then evaluate the result through experiences, should gain knowledge and better understanding, which helps us to solve the problem. Now, next is one video for the study.
Wait, what happened? What happened? Occasionally left. Balbir is presenting.
Hello everyone. As we all know, hello everyone. As we all know, exams are near and due to that, many students are tensed, especially those students who ignore their studies the whole year just for the sake of enjoyment. Such students, due to the intense exam pressure, start studying for 8 to 10 hours daily. But trust us, this is not healthy and also this is not an effective method of studying. So, you must be thinking what to do during a down phase. Don't worry, we have you covered because in this video, we are going to give you 5 tips on how you can complete your syllabus quickly if your exams are near. So, don't take the risk of skipping this video. Let's get started. Tip number 1. Follow 80-20 principle. Have you ever heard about the 80-20 principle? This principle is called the Pareto principle and it has been proved by many researchers. According to this principle, 80% of the effects come from 20% of the cause. Some cool examples of this principle are 20% seeds planted results in 80% of the flower. 20% of the world has 80% of the wealth. You wear 20% of the clothes 80% of the time. This principle is universal and is also applicable in studies, meaning 80% of the questions asked in exams are likely to come from the core material. So, instead of cramming for hours and hours, spend time concentrating on the core material of the different subjects. For added advantage, study the question papers of the last few years and figure out the weightage of the topics. Tip number 2. Try switching subjects after every hour. Due to the exam pressure, many students just jump to study without thinking about anything. For the first few hours, they study with full focus, but after that, they get lazy and start procrastinating studies. So, to tackle this problem, try switching subjects after every hour or after completion of a topic. Doing this will increase your interest and will help you to maintain the productivity level. For extra benefit, reward yourself with some small free for better understanding. Most of the students study under pressure, but till the exam they forget half the information they have studied. So,
अरे
to
बैठो
tackle this problem,
प्रिंसिपल
try
सर
sticking
है
a couple
सब
of
जा
notes
रहा
on your wall,
है
cupboard, near your study table, or in your
सब
bedroom.
बदतमीज लोग
In those notes, write down all the important
प्रिंसिपल सर
dates,
बैठे हुए हैं
formulas, mnemonics, and important
ये
points
बजरी
which
कौन
you
है
will find difficult to learn. Keeping those notes in front of your eyes all the time will help you to learn them more easily, and also it will help you in retaining the information for a longer period of time. Also, those notes will be very helpful during the exam means you can just skim through those notes for effective and quick revision. Tip number 4. Follow the 24-hour rule. It has been scientifically proven that students who don't revise after 24 hours tend to lose 80% of the information they have studied. So, if you wish to make the most out of the study session, then start revising it daily before going to bed. This will help you to retain the information till the exam. Tip number 5. Sleep well. During the day, give your best and study effectively. But at night, keep your stress aside and sleep for at least 7 to 8 hours every night. Because if you stay awake at night, the information stored in the short-term memory will not be transferred to the long-term memory, and you will not be able to retain that information for a longer period of time. So, make a habit of sleeping well during the night, even if you are stressed. So, these were the 5 tips that will help you to study effectively for a longer period of time. It will help you to finish your syllabus. Now, benefits of after releasing stress. Higher self-esteem, less self-conscious, less anxious. Manage stress more successfully. Appreciate yourself and others more easily. Feeling of self-control. Get organized. Poor organization is one of the most common causes of stress. Structured approaches offer security against
डिस्टर्बेंस हाँ
time management. Make a list what must be done, what should be done, what will you like to do, cut out time wasting, learn to drop unimportant activities, say no or delegate. Plan your day, set achievable goals. Don't waste time making excuses for not doing something. Ventilation. A problem shared is a problem halved. Develop a support network through friends and colleagues to talk with. It's not always events that are stressful, but how we perceive them. Writing a diary or notes may help release feelings, but do not reread what has been written. Now, in this slide, we can see the different levels of hormones affects our body mood. So it is necessary to maintain the level of the hormones in our body to release stress. Next is humor. Good stress reducer applies at home and work, relieves muscular tension, improves breathing, pumps endorphins into the bloodstream, the body's natural painkillers. Endorphin is our body natural painkiller which boosts the moods. diversion and distraction. Time, take time out, get away from things that bother you, does not solve the problem, reduce stress level, calm down, think logically, change your lifestyle like diet, smoking, and alcohol, exercise, sleep, leisure, relaxation. In diet, taking healthy eating habits, smoking and alcohol, stop or at least your consumptions to bare a minimum. Benefits of exercise, uses up excess energy released by the fight or flight reaction, improves blood circulation, lowers blood pressure, clears the mind of worrying thoughts, improves self image, makes you feel better about yourself, increases social contact. Sleep, as we have seen in previous slides also, that sleep is a good stress reducer, difficult to cope when tired, wake refreshed after night sleep, plenty of daytime energy. Leisure, it makes interest, gives you a break from stresses, provides outlet for relief, provides social contact. Benefits of relaxation, lowers blood pressure, combat fatigue, promotes sleep, reduces pain, eases muscles tension, decreased mental worries, increases concentration, increases productivity, increases clear thinking. Now, some of the alternatives besides these methods are conventional medicine, counseling and physiotherapy, psychotherapy, relaxation, meditation, massage, yoga, acupuncture, aromatherapy, rotation, herbalism, biofeedback, homeopathy, hypnotherapy, osteopathy, religious therapy, reflexology, all are alternatives which also helps us to release stress. Now we reach to our last video and last slides in which it helps us and also especially to the students to release stress during the exam time. Exams are stressful, but certainly not the worst thing that could happen to you. Parents make it difficult, but friends don't make it any easier either. I learned of an approach to sail through my exams from Dr. Sameer Parekh, a psychiatrist from Fortis Healthcare, and I want to share this with you. Let's start with the basics. A table is meant for studying, the bed for sleeping. An uncluttered table without your phone, laptop, or other distractions is the right approach. Study one subject at a time. Make a flexible schedule and plan ahead for the next 2 to 3 days. Breaks are important. There's only that much you can retain at a stretch. Take a short break every 45 minutes. It's a good idea to leave the room at this time. Concentration exercises like striking off all keys from a paragraph or focusing on a single instrument while listening to a song work. Memory pills don't. Highlight important points while skimming. Use flowcharts and mnemonics to remember better. Ever felt like you forgot what you read just yesterday? No caffeine. It's a myth that they help.
അതിൻ്റെ അന്നേരമൊക്കെ ഫോൺ ചെയ്യണോ?
in the class.
അത് കട്ടായി പോയാമോ? ഇഷ്, അറ്റൻഡൻസ് പിന്നെ ആവും. ചിന്തയുണ്ടെങ്കിലേ പോലും കട്ട് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ കളിക്ക് മനസ്സിലായി. അതുകൊണ്ട് കട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നു. ಇಲ್ಲ ಈ PRT ಮಾರಲ್ಲ ಬರೋದು ಬರ್ಬಾದ್ ಹಾಕೋಲ್ಲ. മനസ്സിലാവുന്നില്ല നായിന്റെ മോളെ.
Few lines to conclude my topic: stress less,
റെക്കോർഡ്
feel
ആവുന്നത്.
less by Christy Rule Breaker. No stress. Nothing has to be done. Open that door and run. Stress may be no more blind. Run in the direction of your heart. Expel the nonsense and be smart. Stress is a curse when nearby. Say to stress forever goodbye. So now, this is the end of this today's in-house session. Thank you, Principal Sir. Thank you, Vice Principal Ma'am. Thank you, my dear friends. And thank you to Girish Sir for technical support.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. Sir, mic is muted. Sir, mic is muted.
Okay. But you had a very nice session by Balbir madam.
Thank you, sir.
The types of stress, how to overcome with the stress. Lot of videos, very good videos are there. And I think thanks to all the teachers and Girish sir also. And Girish sir, next session is on 8th.
8th October, sir. 8th October.
Would you please, I think they change the date 8th from 8 to 10th like that only. 8th is, I think there's some function in school only.
Okay, sir. I will request Alka ma'am to do that. Needful. Okay. Okay.
To postpone 10th, I think better, no?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Chalo, okay. Thanks to all of you. And wish you happy holidays. It's coming, I think. Puja vacation, Puja and all the Shara. To all of you.
Thank you, sir. Same.
Girish Sir, request you to send the link, attendance link.
Already shared, ma'am. Already shared.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You may also
Thank
take.
you for your support.
Balbir
ma'am, very nice session. Thank you, Rajni. Thank you.
recording ಬಂದಾಗ ಈಶ್ವರ ಅದನ್ನ ಕೊಳ್ಳು ಎನ್ನೆ എടുത്തോ എന്താ ഇല്ലേ